I just park it, I cannot move. I have to either I use my leg or I use bike. Even the bike, the kind of the cost of bike now, even at least go higher than more than what even we were expecting. You can see now the numbers of the cars that are moving now is even reducing. Things are very tense.
Even as I am with you, I want to travel, but because of the fuel, I can't even go for my business. Like my place I live in Champion down to Cathedral here is 100 naira. It's something they enter 50 naira before. It's now 100 naira because of the scarcity. And we are even begging the government if they can do something from now till Friday.
People are no more going to farms, they are at home. Even people are no more traveling as a result of the scarcity of oil. And what we got to know is that those filling stations, they have it, but it's as if they intend keeping it for some time so as to get more money or extort people.
As simple as ABC.
That's it.
The hoarding that's going on.
Exactly.
Well, really, is that what's at the root of all of this? Well, we still have Ayodele Adio in the studio with us to discuss the lingering fuel situation in the country. And, of course, TVC News Energy correspondent Tolulokwe Gunjobi is joining us this morning to make us understand why we are here again. Tolulokwe, good morning. Good to see you.
You have spoken with these people. You've gone on inspection. You've gone to see. Tell us what really is the issue right now.
Indeed, we all have to agree that there is scarcity of products. We have a shortage from the depot end, even from the NNPC end. NNPC remains the only importer. We've been saying that already. We've been saying that for some time, almost 100%. And the marketers are supposed to support. That's the major marketers, I beg your pardon. That's the Mobiles of this world, Totals, Wandos, and they're supposed to support NNPC to bring in products. But because of the challenges with regards to subsidy, now the price of crude is on the high side, landing cost is higher, outstanding subsidies since 2016 not being settled and all of that, the importers, private guys have pulled out of the business. So they are waiting that NNPC, whatever you give to us, distribute, we will sell.
Well, the NNPC is insisting that there's enough fuel to last
even until January.
Yes,
well, they've been saying that, but as we speak, various depots at Apapa here, they don't have products. They're not wet. They are not wet. And some that even have products are actually allocated, like products that they have already been paid for. So people are just coming to move the products out of their facility.
Do you think there's a possibility that IPMAN, the independent marketers, may just be taking advantage of Nigerians and, of course, the authorities, including anybody else?
Unfortunately, they are business people. They will take advantage of any loophole or lacuna they will take advantage of any gap at the end of the day. You know, so that's why it's the regulators in this case have to do due diligence to ensure that these independent marketers do not take advantage, you know, of the situation at the end of the day. But I mean, it's a simple case of demand supply. I mean, elementary economics.
Yes.
If you do not have enough supply in the market, you have left it in the hands of the independent marketers to determine, you know, the prices in the market at the end of the day, and that's exactly what they're doing. Unfortunately, the third end, which are supposed to be like the retailers where you go to get, you know, your normal at the filling stations, are now playing God and Caesar at the end of the day. Petrol fuel attendants are becoming supermen. You know, people who have 6 pumps at the filling station will open just 1 pump. And I keep wondering what the logic, you know, about is there. You have 6 pumps. Open the 6 pumps and let people go. It just looks like Nigerians like to see chaos. And you just love to see the long queues. You just love to see
when the place is too calm, you say, no, this place is too calm.
So you lock all the pumps,
exactly.
you close down one gate, you just like to see people jumping here and there.
You know, I'm reminded, Tolu, this should be funny to you and Mike. And of course, Ayo. You know, somebody who lives in Lagos and goes to a place like Abuja, for example, you know, Abuja is calm, quiet, you know, Lagos, you're coming from a chaotic place, and then you stay in Abuja for like 2 or 3 days, and you're like, no, this is not normal. I have to go back to Lagos.
It's no longer normal,
right?
Yeah. I felt away for it.
Exactly.
I was like, what is happening here?
It looks like everyone. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? Where is everybody? You know, the place is too calm for one's comfort, and especially if you're caught by the bog, the Lagos bog.
So it's playing out in this whole.
It is. We can also ignore the fact that let's not forget Pengasan, the senior oil worker.
Yeah, exactly.
There was also a showdown with them. They had some labor issues with Konoko and Nakedo. Nekonde. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'd like to ask you that question. How does Pengasan shut down a country.
The entire country.
Because you have a labor issue with one company.
You know, and that's the way
to a large extent, it begins to border on some level of economic sabotage. I can't understand this.
Their slogan goes, like they say, they'll say injury to one, injury to all.
Well, that's the
so
labor,
how
that's
are we
the
going
labor
to pay
slogan
for,
across
you
the
know,
world.
they now make us suffer, because that's part of the reason why we might even have this this scarcity issue kind of extended, because the Pengasang guys seal the deals on the high sea. They move the crude oil things, they do the offshore things. Yes, they are the big boys, they are the main guys, you know, doing all of these things. So immediately they pulled out their services, you know, getting the products in. You know, Nupeng and the other guys in the downstream sector are just to distribute. That's the storage facilities and the trucks. So it's a different ball game there. So it still goes back to what we've been saying here. We've said here last week. Can we sustain moving petroleum products via this same medium? The same day we spoke here, there was an explosion at Festac, a tanker, 20 cars, 4 bikes. We can't sustain it. Let's just be realistic. It's a high time, and that's not the fault of this administration, because it's been coming. It's been like that.
The point there is, the concept of whether this administration, government has been a continuum. So when Nigerians, it's not about who is the president now.
I agree with you.
Nigerians are just not satisfied by the government, what the government has done over the years anymore. So they don't want to know who is the president now, who was the president yesterday, who is the president tomorrow. That's not about it. It's about the government of the country.
Indeed, they really want things fixed. And the petroleum sector is one sector that really needs to be fixed.
So how do we get it fixed? Now, I've been hearing about NNPC. Some have been recommending that NNPC should be partially privatized. Maybe that's a one way out.
Unbundled.
Totally unbundled.
that has been Kachuku's focus. Immediately Kachuku came in, Kachuku said NNPC must now be a profit-making organization, not just being there and like as they used to say, maybe for election purposes or other issues where the funds come out from NIMASA and all of that has been named cash cows. So, but you know, the process is it's been like that for a long time. Look at the native reports and all. Even lately, there's been an allegation again by the House Committee saying that the NNPC has still refused to remit some funds. So it's a systematic thing, and it also follows up to the refineries, because they are supposed to maintain the refinery. The Pengasang guys work at refineries.
All right, talking about refineries, a lot of people still feel that, in fact, government, from the reports we got, it seems they're waiting, everybody's waiting patiently for the Dangote refinery. Is that really going to be the game changer?
That seems to be the only light at the end of the tunnel these days, the Dangote refinery. We are waiting for it like the coming of Christ, I must tell you. I mean, to a large extent, to be fair to some of these people in government, I see the fact that they want to find solutions to some of these challenges. You know, they want to solve some of these problems. But the problem is the quality of the solution that they apply to these problems. I mean, the quality is unbelievably dismal. We're not thinking through these issues well enough. We're not putting our brains to work well enough. And that's why we keep recycling crisis year in, year out. And I like what you said. We need to solve this problem. Whether it's the Jonathan government, it is none of my business. The buck stops at your table now. Get the job done at the end of the day. Nigerians are tired of excuses. We've been held under siege in Lagos for how many months now? You can't drive through what's it called, Ikorodu Road. We've been held under siege for months. Because people can't get into Apapa easily. How can we continue living like this?
Do we even know what this fuel scarcity, this cycle of crisis?
And that's really important, even at this time where inflation continues to increase, and you know we are doing well, at least.
Well, 15.9
at the moment. And if this fuel issue continues, lingers, it will definitely affect the next figures, because the fuel prices control so many things,
exactly.
So many things.
Food,
so that's another negative effect now, that because when I spoke to a researcher yesterday, and he was telling me that we really need to watch it, because as it's going now, once the price of the pump price looks a little bit on the high side, purchasing power will drop, and you know, buying things too, you know, on the high side, it's going to be a demand and supply thing. That's what we talk about.
Now,
so it's a negative effect.
Talk to us about the issue, because we heard recently that some filling stations have been sanctioned for selling above the pump price and all of that. Is that really going on? It
is going on. Today, in the next few hours, I'll be going out with the DPR team. That's going to continue even in Lagos. Yes, they do that. For some, the fuel will be sold to motorists free. Some, you have to see your filling station for maybe like 6 months. And some they have to pay a fine of as much as 10
Those
million
are consequences?
naira. Yes,
Okay.
they have to pay, and they are really, really
Back to the
enforcing that
issue of
now.
unbundling the NNPC. I recall during Jonathan's era, he actually offered 51% or so equity share to workers in the oil sector, and they refused totally.
The thing is
that something we should be looking at seriously? I mean, this is a very serious matter. We can't continue.
Indeed, NNPC, there needs to be like the normal word we used, an overall of that. Overall of that.
Is there anything that doesn't need an overhaul?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because the NNPC, like we've identified that there have been lots of issues. It's just this time around that, and I must give it to Kachiku because he came in and said, no, NNPC, you can't continue running business like
and
this.
he has put his career on the line too. He's saying by 2018,
if things don't,
Nigeria will stop importing. Well, how realistic is that? Yeah, I mean,
listen, he can dream.
He can dream.
A man can dream.
No harm in dreaming.
So, but I hope that there's a whole lot of work going behind that dream. At the end of the day, I mean, you're right. You're spot on. The NNPC needs to be reshuffled. It needs to be unbundled. It needs to be reformed, just like many other institutions need to be reformed. The problem is the lack of the political will to see these reforms through. The moment you start, you begin to receive phone calls as a minister.
Okay. It's all right. We have to end it here right now. We certainly will look forward to how the day is going to run and all of that. Ayodele Adio, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
And Tolulokwe, thank you so much. We'll be following and waiting to see some of the reports we'll bring in later on the bulletins.